from Green Island again. I know this is not quite the start to the year that we were all hoping for, but I hope by bringing you a little glimpse of the garden in January here, it might be able to lift your spirits just a small bit. There's nothing like the January garden for me. The beauty of it is amazing because everything is as though it's asleep under the ground. But the things that are flowering, a lot of them are very, very scented. Not many people know about them because they don't tend to visit garden centres and gardens in January. A lot of gardens that are open to the public, for example, just close down at the end of September, and that's it until Easter, till they open up the next year. I'm always being asked by people online, what can I plant to brighten up my garden in the winter? It just looks so drab, or it's not worth going out in the garden. And I would say just come and have a look at Green Island if you get a chance, or go to your local garden centre and be willing to have your senses awakened with the beautiful scents that are available in January. As I say, it's one of my favourite months in the garden. This is one of my favourite all-time plants. If I could only choose 10 plants to have in my garden, this would definitely be one of them. It's called Daphne Balua Jacqueline Postil. It forms an upright growing evergreen shrub, reasonably fast growing, and it has these heads of the most beautifully, delicious, fragrant, vanilla-y scent. It's hard to describe scents and to convey them with a picture. But if you just cut a few of these branches and take them into your house, into one room, it will scent the whole room for days on end. The beauty of this shrub is it starts flowering about Christmas time and it goes on right till the end of March. So you get 3.5 months of these beautifully scented flowers. Another one of my favourite plants in January is Hamamelis, the Witch-hazel. I will post a video in more detail about Hamamelis because we have got a national collection of them here. So we've got about 100 different varieties, but I'll just show you a couple of them. But these lovely spidery flowers, they're absolutely amazing. I fell in love with them many, many years ago because these flowers seem to be absolutely, totally resilient to anything that the weather can throw at them. Whether it's minus 15 degrees, it's snow, it's ice, whatever it is, rain, wind, the flowers still just look like a ray of sunshine covering the branches on these beautiful witch hazels. This is a cultivar called Hamamelis ex intermedia Pallida, and the scent, these all have a sort of citrusy, spicy scent, beautiful, beautiful smell. The yellow ones tend to be more lemony and more delicate, and the deeper coloured ones, the oranges and the reds, tend to be even more spicy and citrusy. But again, these are great if you want to cut a few branches and take them indoors. They will last for absolutely ages. The other thing about scented plants at this time of year is because there are few pollinators around at this time of year, they have to produce an enormous amount of scent in order to attract the pollinators and also flower for a very, very long period of time as well. A lot of scented plants that flower in the summer, for example, you might only get a week's flowers out of them, but these will often go on for months and months, just producing this beautiful scent which they'll release, particularly on a warm, sunny day. So this is another witch hazel, Hamamelis ex intermedia. This one is called Glowing Embers. And you can see on a cold winter's day these lovely orangey flowers, again with that lovely spicy citrus scent, but really, really brightens up the sky on a cold January day. And here we have an example of a red flowering Hamamelis. Again, beautiful, beautiful scent. This one is called Hamamelis intermedia Diane. So when we're talking about the January scented garden, I couldn't really miss out Viburnums. Fairly common, often grown shrub, Viburnum bodnantense, makes an upright shrub, pale pink scented flowers again. Strong smell of cloves and vanilla, beautiful scent. The only problem with these is that they do tend to get taken out by the frost. They will come again. We've got branches with lots of buds to come, but if we get a really cold spell, it can spoil the flowers. This one is Viburnum bodnantense Dieben. The more common pinker flowered one is called Dawn, which you'll probably see more often. But there are several different varieties of these. Charles Lamont is another one. And there's another beautiful, very similar one called Viburnum fragrans, all with these very similar clusters of pink tubular flowers, but very, very scented again. This is one of my favourite scented winter flowering shrubs. It doesn't look much to the eye, but when you get close and smell it, it just has the sweetest, most gorgeous scent. Chimonanthus praecox it's called, or winter sweet is the common name. These lovely lemony yellow flowers with a deep maroon centre. It produces a sort of rounded shrub which doesn't look much for most part of the year, so you wouldn't want it as your prominent shrub in your main garden. But if you can squeeze one in somewhere, then it's definitely worth having. If you cut a couple of these sprigs, I usually manage to get some for Christmas time, and then it flowers prolifically right the way through January. But just a couple of sprigs in a vase in a room and it will scent the whole room. Absolutely beautiful. So the thing with these winter scented flowering shrubs, you want to have them close to the house where you're going to enjoy the scent of them. But as I showed you, this Chimonanthus takes up a lot of space, so it's not going to be your ideal plant to put right next to your front door. So this one here, I've grown as a wall shrub, and I've trained it against the wall of the tea room here. It actually enjoys being in this situation because south facing and sunny, it ensures that the wood ripens and that makes it flower more prolifically. So you can see this one here, I've actually cut it back very, very hard every year, but it still flowers beautifully. This one's been flowering since the end of November. This is probably one of the better known winter flowering shrubs for scent, the most common ones. A winter flowering honeysuckle it's called, Lonicera fragrantissima. Has these lovely white flowers with yellow anthers, excellent again for attracting insects. But the scent of it is just like that beautiful sweet smell of wild honeysuckle that you get on a summer evening. Again, this is a great one to cut and take indoors and bring the scents of the garden inside. Rather like the Chimonanthus, this Lonicera doesn't make the most attractive looking shrub for the rest of the year. So on that basis, it doesn't really earn its place in a very small garden. However, if you've got a large garden or shrubbery somewhere you can merit using the space for it, then great. Otherwise, why not try growing it trained against the wall again, as I have done with the Chimonanthus on the other side of the house. So the next plant I'm going to show you is otherwise known as Christmas box, Sarcococca confusa. Evergreen shrub. You might be forgiven for passing it by and not noticing very much, but can you see these little white spidery flowers? If only I could tell you, convey the scent that they're giving off. It's absolutely incredible. Really, really strong, sweet, beautiful scent. It emits its scent so far that you can actually smell it from about 30 yards away in the garden if you get on the right direction for the wind to be wafting it across. We can smell it on the other side of the house from where it's flowering. It's a very undemanding little plant. It's ideal for a dark, shady position. You really want to site it close to your front door so that you smell it going in and out. But somewhere it won't be causing an eyesore in through the summer when it's not doing very much. After it's flowered, it produces these lovely black berries. Not sure if you can see these, shiny black berries. And if it's happy where it's growing, it will quite happily seed for you, and then you can dig up a few baby plants to give to your friends. In fact, I think we've got a few just down there. You can see how it's seeding itself. There are different types of Sarcococca. Some of them flower a little bit later, Sarcococca hookeriana, Dignia, various other ones. But if I could only have one, I would definitely choose this one for the lovely green glossy leaves on it and the beautiful white scented flowers. So here we have another Sarcococca, ruskifolia this one's called, Sarcococca ruskifolia Dragon's Gate. Very similar to confusa with the white spidery flowers and that beautiful scent. But after the flowers on this one, we get red berries, which are rather nice. I don't know if you can see those. So it's worth looking around for different cultivars. This one flowers just slightly later, and as I say, the Hookeriana ones, Dignia, and those cultivars, they tend to flower a little bit later still. So we're in a Japanese garden now. This is trained against the wall of the house, and it's Prunus Mume Benichidori it's called. It's an ornamental apricot. It hasn't actually produced any apricots for me yet, but I grow it purely for these beautiful, beautiful pink petaled flowers. Remind me of a very sort of Japanese flowering cherry. But these ones are beautifully scented. They smell of almonds. It's only just coming out at the moment. You can see lots and lots of buds to come, and in a few weeks it will absolutely smother this wall. It looks a real sight. It would form quite a large shrub or small tree if it was left growing freestanding, but I choose to train it against the wall here, where I think it really, really shows off the flowers beautifully in February. And it also really benefits from having the shelter of the south-facing wall. Okay, so we've just come through the Japanese garden here and seen one of my favourite shrubs here, very unusual. I call it my Christmas bauble tree. Edgeworthia chrysantha it's called, and these are the flower heads, the buds, which start forming in December time before Christmas. As these mature and open, they actually turn up the other way and open to tubular yellow, very, very scented flowers. And these actually belong to the same family as Daphne. And if you look at the flowers, you can see the similarity in the shape and the form of the flowers. But again, that beautiful clovey scent. But a very unusual shrub. It's not often seen grown in gardens or in nurseries, but search it out if you want something a little bit different. This is another really good shrub for winter colour and scent, Mahonia. It has a bit of a reputation of being a landscape shrub, and often they're grown in too much sunshine and the leaves get too yellow and sick looking. But give it a bit of shade and these lovely prickly glossy leaves, evergreen leaves, set off these sprays of flowers that bloom from December right through to February. This one, Mahonia japonica, it has the most deliciously scented pale yellow flowers that smell of lily of the valley. It's so sweet, it's absolutely gorgeous. The only problem is I want to pick these flowers and take them inside to be able to enjoy them, but it has the annoying habit of when you do that, the flowers drop very, very quickly. So it's not a great one for taking indoors, unlike a lot of the other ones, but for scent you just can't beat it. It's beautiful.